Alrighty then, GripTV Nation, welcome on in to the Hangout episode number 4. I am joined by none other than Jay Plays, top left of your screen. That's JP. Welcome on in. How are you?
Hello. Thank you. I'm good.
Good to see you. And what do you know? It's Tubbsy is here. Welcome, Tubbsy.
Morning, Nation.
And top right of your screen is Outlaw. That's KR. It's Outlaw77S. Welcome on in. And look at John. It's Air Messy right above me. Wild crazy hat. There he is. And Braden Cohen. You know him as Fidget. Middle of your screen. There he is with that nice blue GripTV shirt on. I'm loving it. And Man Cave Motorsports is joining us. There he is, folks. It's Man Cave. And hey, I'm Matt Malone. I stream iRacing. I'm here, Showdown 1983. And you guys are GripTV Nation. Welcome on into GripTV episode number 4 of the Hangout. We are taking your Twitter questions at GripTV Live and hashtag GripTV Live. Don't forget to visit the team page. You can find it by going to griptvteam.com to see all the GripTV guys. And we're missing a couple guys, Jimmy Broadbent and Ali. But we got most of us here, so here we are. Welcome on in. Oh, man, it's been a while. 3 weeks. Here we are.
Has it been 3 weeks?
It's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Wow. What happened to...
Really?
Really?
I think so.
22.
Yeah.
22.
We did one week 13, didn't we? And then...
Yeah, we did it on week 13.
Well, you know.
It feels... You know what? We love the nation so much, it feels like 3 weeks.
I think we skipped a week just to have JP here, right?
Yeah, get it aligned with his fin races.
The nation.
I'm kind of like underwhelmed by John's commitment to that hat. He gave up already. It lasted all of about 45 seconds before he was just like, nope. Not having any of this shit.
No, it's not having it. I'm just not having it.
Nope.
Oh, little baby humans.
Tubbsy, I know England lost, but there's no need to cry.
You made it a minute. Right, now it's my vendetta. I'm going to mention the MX-5 as much during this stream as possible.
So over the weekend, we had the real-life Petite Le Mans. Next weekend, we have the iRacing Petite Le Mans.
It's the only one that counts, really. It's the only one that matters.
That's right. It's the only one that really matters. So the question is, how did you guys enjoy the real-life race, and who's gearing up for the race coming up this next weekend? I know myself, Mika, and Braden are forming a team. Maybe Tubbsy will jump in there, but we want to hear from the nation. Who's going to be in the HPDs stealing Apexes? That's what I want to know. Oh,
I still think GripTV needs a HPD team, because the thing is, this is my mindset. I hate getting hit by HPDs, so what I do is I am the HPD, so then I can't be hit by the HPD.
There you go.
And it works out perfect.
You will get hit by HPDs even though if you're driving one yourself.
HPD steal HPD bases.
Yeah.
It's a hate crime. When an HPD hits another HPD, it's not a hate crime.
Are we doing it in the... I assume we're doing it in the 4GT, right?
That's my assumption, yeah, 4GT. Sure.
Okay.
Go for the rough.
That's fine.
Or the rough. Yeah, you never
That's
know.
a pro tip.
What are you drinking out there? Is that a Voss?
No.
It looks like a Voss.
Boss.
It is.
It is? You're drinking out of a Voss?
No, it's actually some kind of a juice thing in there.
It's the
I don't know what.
longest
Looks like one of the
glass
things
I've
that they've just pulled out of Breaking Bad. You've got a little meth lab in the back of your JP.
Well, that's what I'm doing, Breaking Bad in my races.
Oh, so
There you
we
go.
found out how JP's so fast on the track.
Yeah.
Is it's meth.
Drinking
Do
his
you want to build a
concoctions.
meth lab?
Oh, dear God.
Oh, man. So it's the Petite Le Mans is part of the Road Warrior series. If you guys don't know, it's like a year-long series that every once in a while they have like a good combo like this one. But it's the HPDs plus the GT3. And we still can't host a practice race like that. They won't let you have multiple cars in the same class plus another car class, which
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with that. Why can't we do that yet? But
That's very
Because
strange.
I'm kind of
also-
disappointed to see the C7 not in the Road Warrior series. I'd have liked to have seen the new C7 in there.
yeah.
But someone said because of championship points.
Oh, I would screw that
that's-
up probably or
yeah.
something, yeah.
But
But,
I want more things to pump people with.
Actually, the DB is a very nice car to drive. I have been doing some IMSA races with that, and it is actually easier to handle the traffic in the multi-class racing with that car, because the cornering speed is the same as with the rough C-Spec and for GT. So where it excels is on the exits and in the high-speed turns. So when you realize that, then it's easier to handle the traffic.
Yeah, I definitely think it was mean of them to put Circuit of the Americas as the first track.
I know.
Because that just put me off completely, because that car is not designed for Circuit of the Americas. Particularly for someone who's never raced IMSA before. You kind of go into it, and then all of a sudden, you get kicked in the butt, and then I'm just like, well, Skippy starts in 15 minutes, so I'll just do that instead.
So a lot of you guys been trying out the Corvette. I haven't. I've been trying out the Ford in the IMSA series.
I've just been trying to finish.
Yeah, well, but I thought the Ford, there's no participation in the Ford, so I don't know about that. But
hopefully it's picking up a little bit.
Can I post a link? I want to post a link. There, I finished a race.
Hey, there it is. KR's first finished race for season 4.
Woo. I was in IndyCar as well. Wow.
Where's the confetti?
You out with the downforce
look,
stuff.
Yeah, look.
Was that last night when you won?
Yeah, that was last night from when I won.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Good. 2-second lead. 2-second lead,
yeah.
huh? I pulled that off at Atlanta, the Draft Fest.
I call it bug exploit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Maybe
you
that
do
new
is
anti-hack
type
system
in the
work.
chat griphacks.com.
Yeah.
The chat box. And you go much faster.
That's what I've been doing wrong. I've been using EXE, but it's .com.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Apparently, griphacks.com is unavailable or may not exist. I did check. I was that sad that I actually went to check.
I think that's a new domain you need to add to redirect to GripTV.
I've redirected GripTV.
So, JP, how you been liking your new wheel? After you've had a few weeks with it. No broken hands?
No broken hands so far. It's just awesome. There's so many things I want to tell about that, but there's just not enough words to describe it. But I have to say the best force feedback. What I if I have when I have tried the Assetto Corsa, I have tried R Factor 2, iRacing, and now Dirt Rally. And I have to say the easiest place to set up the wheel and the best force feedback I have experienced have been in iRacing. And that's what I have been talking before, is that the iRacing has the most cleanest and purest force feedback in there, while the others might have some added effects in the force feedback just to ramp up the lower end wheels or something. I don't know what's the specific thing going on is there, but yeah, the force feedback is in there in iRacing. You just need more power to bring it up.
Do you run a minimum force setting with that?
Well, I'm using the Newtonmeters. There's a setting in the app.ini where you can change it from the minimum force slider to Newtonmeter slider, and it depends a little bit on the car where I run it. They say that the 1-to-1 would be to run it at 20 Newton meters, but that's just too strong for me at the moment.
Wow.
So, but every time
Personally,
I have
I'm
crashed,
JP's new personal trainer.
Yeah.
I'm giving him tips on strength, what parts to strengthen up so he can handle his big wheel.
He's doing like one-arm push-ups and stuff. Getting ready.
I've told him that actually this morning, military presses is great for him.
There you go.
Military presses.
have to
Bar on the
I
floor.
demand a Rocky IV montage, or it never happened.
Yep.
So I guess
Yeah.
people
like
would want to know if you're just coming to a review. Is there like a review video coming, JP, of the direct drive?
Yeah, I actually video recorded the unboxing, and then I showed around the electronics, what kind of different circuit boards it does have, and what kind of wiring it is a little bit. I didn't go too much into that because it took me 6 hours to put together the electronics.
Wow.
But mainly because of that, the documentation and the tutorials were not complete yet. And I think in the future, the more time passes, it will be a lot easier. But when I have time and when I'm not feeling too lazy, I will finish it up and upload it to YouTube.
Are you going to build me one? I mean, 'cause, you know, it doesn't sound all that hard, so why don't you just build me one too?
I think the biggest question is, when people look at wheels like the G27, the G27 resells for £200 in the UK or however much it does in the US or whatever. And when people look at that wheel, you get a shifter with it, you get a clutch with it, it's worth the money you pay for it, the G27, 100%. Best bang for your buck.
Yep.
How closely does that wheel relate in terms of the price you pay to an improvement over a wheel like a G27?
It's a good question.
Like, does it mean that you're paying twice the price or whatever for the wheel, but you're only getting a little bit more wheel, or do you get a whole lot of wheel for a whole lot more?
Well, you get a lot more fidelity and more, what is the word for that? It's more precise, more smoother. The response from the force feedback is just amazing. It's like, I can show it to you. If you, for example, if you see in the streams, if you can see people wheeling or turning the wheel, you can see when they're bumpy road, the wheel goes like this, in a little bit like in a slow rate. But with the dirt dry wheel, when you go over the pumps, it goes like this.
Ah.
So the more stronger motor there is in the wheel, the more faster the response from the force feedback is, and it makes it more realistic and more immersive.
It's so strong, it's able to change direction a lot quicker. It's more force, and it's able to... I could see where a G27 or some of the lower end wheels where it's the mechanics and the belt driven and the way it is, it's just not going to be able to give you the force to be able to change directions really quick, you know, because it's just too much for it. But with a direct drive...
It's when you go higher with the strength in the Logitech 27 or similar wheels, the forces starts to clip, as you can see the force slider in the iRacing. But in this wheel, when you go higher with the forces, you don't get clipping at all. It just gives more precision. Yeah. So, but. I still wouldn't say that if you don't have like excessive amounts of money, don't start any kind of racing with the dirt dry wheel. The G27 Thrustmaster wheels, they are just they're good enough for starters. But for example, if anyone is considering the Club Sport wheel, the version 2 at the moment, the price range is not that different anymore. If compared to the OSW wheel. So, in my impressions, even though I haven't tried the Club Sport wheel, I would still say that I would pick the OSW again.
Now, if you get a direct drive wheel, you can't just put it on your desk. You
Nope.
gotta have a well-built rig for that.
Well,
I would imagine.
I have a good... I'm sorry I'm talking a little bit too much about this, but I have a good example from yesterday's race. We did the Virtual Endurance Championship race.
Ah, yes.
And the curb effects in R-Factor 2, they are a little bit over the line, in my opinion. So when I have this wheel attached to my rig, I have my keyboard tray attached to the same rig, and during the race the curb effects vibrated my rig so much that the keyboard dropped from the tray to the ground 2 times in there. I had to shout to my wife, "Come on and pick my keyboard, I have a race to do in here." But
I mean, I remember watching the race, and I could hear the keyboard shaking around on his rig. It was hilarious.
yeah.
You gotta have a well-built rig for something, even for like the V2 or something like that. I think G27 you'd be fine putting it on a tabletop or something, but anything more than that, you gotta have a real rig. So, but yeah.
So there's secondary costs.
And Matt, a real rig will consist of having wings on it, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you actually have to have wings. To be honest, if you could put it in an actual car, that would be preferable. Like getting an actual car and just ripping out the rear wheel and the engine and stuff. You don't need that. Just put a PC in the engine block, you're fine.
So, I don't know. You guys probably haven't ever seen a sprint car frame, but I actually have a sprint car frame that I'm going to convert into my race rig here over the winter, probably.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you still gonna have a Driving Force GT hooked up to it?
Probably, unless you want to send me something better.
I'll send you my CSR Elite or whatever it's called, the Forza one.
Oh
my
man,
old wheel. It's a pretty good wheel. But,
you know what? The Driving Force GT, as far as the wheels go, I'm not unhappy with it, but I know they're better.
You got the new pedals.
I do. I did get the CSR Elite pedals, same as yours,
nice.
I believe.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
And I actually didn't blow up the engine in the Mazda. Huh?
Impressive. Most impressive.
I know.
Is that the Mazda MX-5?
We can't say that, can we?
Yeah, we
Oh,
should.
was it that Mazda MX-5? The MX-5 that we're talking about. I'm just doing it to annoy Air Messi up while he keeps talking about the England-Wales game.
Well, I can't even race at the moment, so basically talking about racing is enough torture, so MX-5 doesn't even bother me
These
right now.
pedals feel great. I'm just going to push them while I'm here.
Oh, yeah. I'm just pushing my pedals right now as we speak, just for fun. It's a good time.
But your pedals got more freedom than everybody else's, so I don't care about yours.
Oh, yeah.
We should all send $5 to Air Messi, and then he can get these damn new pedals. I say let's do it.
We need John back out on the track.
John needs to be back in GT3. We miss him.
In the BMW.
Yes.
Matt, can you put that on? I know it is Bushfink Racing, but we are actually holding that, what I put in our chat in the Facebook. In Skype chat. If anyone's interested to come and join.
Oh yeah.
Team Bushfink MX-5.
That's right. You're going to be in that man cave?
Yeah, I'll be in there as well.
Oh, man. I was invited. Unfortunately, the times don't work out for me. But so these are Tuesdays at 20 CEST time.
That's like, what the heck is that?
I think it's Central Europe. I'm not sure.
It's fun, actually. It's awesome.
They must have just thought, right, what's the most ugliest, most gormless looking car we can ever put on a poster? Oh, yay, we'll pick that one.
Actually, that's pretty cool.
We figured MX-5 because everyone's got the MX-5. So we can get lots of people into race. And I'll be there, James King will be there. Who else? There's Williams, he'll be there as well. So there's lots of us there, guys who you know anyway. Aero will more than likely be in there as long as he's not building houses.
Okay.
You should send an invite to Gregor Hutu, just see what happens.
Yeah.
You never know.
That may be something, Braden, you'd probably want to get into, depending on the time, right?
Yeah, I could probably do it.
Tear it up in those Mazdas. Yeah, probably.
I don't know what else to say. I got the invite. I'll probably try and make it. I don't know what the hell it's 20 EST is or whatever, but...
And now we got like this crazy daylight savings time is going to be changing here for everybody, so now we're going to be even more confused. And then different people change over to daylight savings before other people. It's just like, you got to be kidding me. I hate it so much.
Yeah, they really ought to consider getting rid of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, isn't it? It's an old-timey thing, isn't it? We don't even really apply.
It was implemented during World War I or II to use less electricity.
History lesson by KR. Continue.
Check out KR with the knowledge.
It was before that, wasn't it? It was to make the most of summer, to make the most of extra hours for working in the summertime. So I think it was before that for the UK anyway.
Well, I thought it was for the electricity during one of the World Wars. I don't know. Freak, I was asleep in industry class.
Well, they're always like, we're burning daylight. We're burning daylight. We're like, we'll just set the clocks back. It's fine.
Hey, someone doesn't live in a country where sunlight is a myth, okay?
Yeah.
What's that big glowing thing?
Is that a moon? Moon 2.0, man.
Oh, man. So, you got the Bushfink thing going on. We got also there's a lot of league stuff going on, and it's hard to mix in the official racing with the league racing, but a lot of people are able to do it. But we also have the BSRTC that GripTV guys got an invite for, which is a Kia Cup. Well, you guys know more about it than me, but we'll roll some footage. And we had a couple of the GripTV guys participate in the Kia races, which is actually on TV, on Motors TV. This is by Apex Racing in over 41 European countries. The races are viewed. So how'd you guys do? I know Braden and JP was in it.
Do you want to, Braden, say something first?
Yeah, it's Suzuka. Yeah, I think we had a good time. It was the usual kind of rumbling around in the mid-pack, just trying to find our way to the finish line for the most part, at least on my end. I think one race JP ended up 16th or something. It was a really good finish.
Yeah.
I think my average finish was like 30th, but I was having a good time.
Yeah, there's so many cars.
It's a little bit, if you don't like qualify yourself above the mid-pack, it's very, very hard to survive the turn one in the races. I think there's several reasons for that. First one is going to be that, of course, there are some prizes in there, and the second one is that the Kia is very, very slippery. It just doesn't feel natural on that car on the turn one. So I think people are just surprised how the car acts in there. And for example, the Suzuka, the turn one is very hard, even without the cold tires. And then people just rushing in there, and they suddenly notice, oh boy, these guys in front, they're braking. I have to brake too, and then they are sideways in there.
The Kia is fun to watch, and it is fun to race because of the close racing. I know.
Yeah, I have to say it's like an oval race for road racing. Those guys will poke their nose in no matter what. If they think they have the smallest amount of run, they're poking their nose in it. That frustrates me as a road racer, but after experiencing it at Road America, I kind of knew what to expect, so it didn't bother me this time. I just let it happen and got to 0X's all race and died and had fun.
The one thing I will say, though, is that although they poke their nose in, 9 times out of 10, the manoeuvre sticks. I mean, there's contact, but rubbing's racing and all that. And in that kind of touring car, I mean, watch BTCC and there's contact all over. But I think, Fidget, do you stream your races?
Yeah, I have been.
And I think JP did it. So, if you happen to ever want to know when someone was racing the BSR-TC race, or indeed when anyone else was streaming, there's a new domain that GripTV's managed to nab. What is it, griptvteam.com?
griptvteam.com, right on screen. Takes you right to the team page. So whenever you hear about these races going on, you know some of the guys are going to be streaming them. So it gets different perspectives as far as the broadcast as well. It's Apex Racing is the broadcast team, and I'm telling you what, they do a great job broadcasting.
That broadcasting duo is very, very entertaining.
I mean, they deserve to be on TV, and they are. I mean, I can see why, because they are good.
They're actually a multi-streaming. They are streaming to iRacing account in Twitch and then to the YouTube under Apex Racing TV. So that is very nice.
Yeah, big shout out to Apex Racing, man. They do a great job.
And of course, I want to say thanks for the BSR-TC Pro Series to give us this invitational for the series. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. I mean, you know. It's wild racing, man.
John, the moonshine I gave in this one, it's not working. Do I give it more?
Just put it on an intravenous drip. just duct tape him to the wall and put him on an intravenous drip. It's fine. I've done it with all 4 of mine, and they're perfect.
What? Go to sleep.
Mine used to like brown ale.
Yeah, so we are taking questions at GripTV Live and hashtag GripTV Live on Twitter. Man Cave, do we got anything rolling in?
We have two. The first one was for the beginning of the stream, really, but it was Showdown, do you want to play with Messi's Pokeballs?
Yes, very much
That's
so.
All right. And Jeremy Patterson is, I'm not sure who he is. Should iRacing add full races, like 100% race? Oh, and he likes the Hangout.
Thank you.
Like road races, like they do for the oval?
But we do 100% races, though, don't we?
I think he means more along the lines of should... So I might be interpreting too much from this, but I think he means so where real series will have... So, for example, the Formula 1 series will have 41-lap races. Do that in that Star Mazda will be 40, 50-lap races. I think he just basically means should all the races be longer, so they're all a 1 hour, 2 hour race.
Yeah, I think
like they would be in real life.
Yeah, I think
like they would be in real life.
Is that kind of what the Road Warrior is?
Participation would go way down.
Yeah.
You know, people like that they can just jump in and race.
Yeah.
I think if you just add to it, if you don't take away the shorter ones, but then you also add the option for a longer one, maybe you know, something on the weekends. I kind of would like to see some more longer races. I also like doing the short half-hour ones. You get in, you get a race in, you know, whatever. But sometimes I just like to sit down and just ride.
I think what they are doing with the blank paint series is something what we are going to see in the future more, because in the blank paint series they have the sprint series where you can do the sprint races, and then we have the endurance races in there, which is just like, well, this season is just 6 weeks of racing, and they have 3 slots to race in there. And I think they are doing the same thing with the IndyCar Winter Series. The races are longer, but there's not that many race slots to race in there at the moment. I'm not quite sure. Does any one of you race the IndyCar Winter Series?
Yeah, I've been running that.
Tubbsy does.
Yeah,
I've thought about it, but I can't finish a race, so I'm not going to.
It's a fun series.
You just did finish.
Exactly, you finished one race.
I finished one race and won it. I'm not going to win everything. Poor Tubbsy's got to get a race in somewhere.
Well, you've already got a heads up on me, because at least you've won a race.
There we go.
So,
the Indy Winter Series I like. I like the format that they've taken. The only problem is there comes a point, I don't know if this is out of my place to say, there comes a point where sim racers' talent dwindles, including mine. I'm not exempting myself from this. But the Dallara is an incredibly hard car to drive on road.
It is.
And it is doable. It is more than doable. But it takes a lot more practice than necessarily... It's one of those, you know, a lot of cars are very easy to drive but hard to master. The Indy car on the road's more, it's a bitch to drive, and it's even bigger bitch to master. It's definitely doable, but in terms of running a week-long series and making it...
I'll be right back, guys.
No worries. Doing it like a week-long series where they run every 2 or 4 hours, I don't think there's enough drivers with that skill level to make it worthy of having a weekly series like that. Whereas I think what the Indy Winter Series has done it really well, which is where they'll have usually 1 or 2 races a day, a bit like the NIS has always done. They'll have specific days where they do races, and then everyone bundles in, and it basically becomes a massive strength of field race.
Yeah.
Because if you are one of these drivers that's much better and is incredibly talented in IndyCar, number 1, I'm jealous of you. But number 2, if you're incredibly talented, there's so many people competing in one event that it gets split evenly. So you'll be amongst other drivers like that. Yeah, as opposed to if they just run it every 2 or 4 hours, what's going to end up happening is you're going to get people like, you know, aliens running against people like me. And if I make a mistake just because the car's too powerful, I could end 5 people's races, and that's when it doesn't become fun. So I think the Indy Winter Series is probably, in my opinion, the best idea of where series like that can go.
It is good to limit the number of races.
I think they might, when they said in the iRacing forums now that they want to really focus on the GT3 at the moment, and we are seeing that because they have signed up 2 more. Actually, they signed up 1 new car again to the GT3. That's the Audi R8, and
was the Audi and the Merc coming in there?
There's the AMG. Coming in.
Mercedes, and they said that they want to bring the Mercedes and the Audi first, and then the Vantage at some point.
Yes, the Aston GT3. So we've got those 3. The thing that I want to know is, is iRacing going to stick to this 5 cars only per series, or are they going to make it so that you now have 8 different cars? You know, you have the Ford, the RUF, the Beamer, the Mercedes, the Audi. You have all of the GT3 cars that could run. Are we going to see all of them running, or are they just going to keep it at 5 cars only and then just kick off one of the cars at a time?
They need to cut the RUF. That needs to go. It's not even a real GT3 car. And with these other 2 cars coming, I think they'll cut the RUF. And then even the Ford GT3, I don't even think that's a car that runs in the real series, so they'll probably cut that too. So I think they should cut those cars, but they should also up the number of cars you can actually put in one session. I think 5 is too small. But that's a different issue altogether.
I also think that the BMW is under the threat of cutting down, because that car doesn't run anymore next year. It's the new M6 car in the GT3 from BMW. Yeah. So.
But I would like to see. I mean, I'm bigger fan of WEC than I am of Blancpain. But in terms of GT3, I'd like to see them having a variety of cars. Because the problem we kind of fall into at the moment is there's 5 cars in there at the moment, which is a variety, and it's definitely nice to have that. It's not a single series race. But the problem is, usually over one season, one car dominates. Like, you know, last season it was the Ford GT3, just spanked everyone up and down the field. For about 2-3 seasons before that, it was the Beamer. And it just seems to be that at the top of the field, if you look at the top 10, 6 to 7 to 8 of them will always be one car. I'd like to see them have the bigger variety, so it's no longer the Beamer's the fastest car, the Ford's the fastest car. There's now so much variety that driving style becomes king, and you just drive whatever you go fastest in because you've got 8, 9, 10, 11 different cars you can pick from that's going to suit you and make you fast. It might not be faster in the hands of someone else, but for you, it's very fast. That's what I want to see the diversity reach to, rather than this kind of single bit.
I personally think that's what's been going on anyway. The Beamer was always favourite and king, and everybody pretended it was faster because it was the more forgiving. It was the car that everybody could drive and not kill themselves in. But then you had the guys that could properly drive a rough, and they would just rip in over these BMWs quite easily.
Yeah,
it's about because you've got to remember that there's an awful lot of people who play this game that are just average like me. So they'll literally pick the car that kills them less. Doesn't matter if they're faster or if they're slower in it. It's like they'll just pick that and they run better races. They'll be more consistent because they're getting more lap times in and they're generally getting quicker as they go. But then you'll have somebody like Paul A. Nelson or John Hall, and they'll jump in a Porsche and they'll just murder them easily. It's
oh yeah.
I think that's what it is more than it being like one is like massively overpowered. Maybe on some tracks you get that sort of disparity, but not throughout a whole season.
no.
Well, I just feel like I get where you're coming from, that driver skill will always win out. I definitely think that an alien's an alien and that's it. It doesn't matter what you put them in, they'll be fast. But the problem I'm talking more about is, so for example, the Beamers, if I remember correctly, the Beamer's the fastest around a corner, the McLaren has the best top speed, and the Rough always has the best acceleration. There's some weird mechanic to that.
Right.
I'd like to see a bigger variety, so it's not, there's a Beamer coming up, so I know exactly where I'm going to overtake him already. I kind of feel like we've almost got into this like meta game of racing, where when you're going into a race, you know you can judge someone by the car because there's only 2 or 3 other cars on the track to judge them by. Whereas if we had this massive I don't know, maybe I'm just on my own and I'm overthinking it. But if we had a massive variety of cars, I feel like we would get much more intense action, because it wouldn't just be coming out the corner, this car is the best on corner exit. It wouldn't be this car is the best in a straight line. It wouldn't be this car is the best going into it. It's that there would be a nice enough variety that everyone kind of give and took, and now all of a sudden you've got overtaking maneuvers all over the track rather than just, right, here's one corner where we're going to overtake in a Beamer.
It would be like that even if they had more cars in anyway, because each cars have their own traits.
Right.
Yeah, but if you had more cars, there'd be more variety to that.
Yeah, so what you're saying, you want what exactly what it is right now, but with an extra 2 or 3 cars with slight difference and advantages.
No, because I feel like if you added in
exactly as it is now, but more complex, basically.
No, I feel like if we added more cars, it would eliminate that kind of. I almost feel like we're in a meta game where everything's just kind of pretty standard at the moment. I don't feel like any races tend to be very exceptional in terms of, you know, amazing overtaking maneuvers or anything like that. I tend to find it's just you'll get the draft and you'll go into the corner and you'll beat him because you've got the better cornering speed because of the car that you're in. I would just kind of maybe it's just me speaking because this is how I drive and I'm not aggressive enough. That might be it.
There's
I feel like what it is actually. Get more aggressive and you'll see it much better.
There's a comment from Frederick that the Ford GT3 ran today in ADAC GT series in Germany, and yeah, I think that's true that the Ford GT3 is running on the Germany GT3 series, but outside of the Germany, I don't think we see any Ford GTs in there in the series. But I have to say, in that variety thing, is that I at least have seen the variety of the different car classes. I'm not talking about the Ford GT because, well, Ford GT3 is all-rounder. Not anymore, though, because it got a massive Nerf bat in last field. But the Beamer, the cars should be a lot more closer to the real life now. So the Beamer is 9 kilometers per hour slower in the straight line than the other cars, but it is superior to other cars when it comes to the braking, and rough is superior on the corner exits. You just can't beat the rough in there. And McLaren is I think McLaren is the car which is the fastest in the straight line, and it has the fastest mid corner speed. I'm not quite sure about that, but yeah.
Well, you figure each car is going to be a little bit different, and then based on track, which car is going to be a little bit better per week. I mean, you can't have every car exactly the same, so I think the little traits that each car has is cool. It's just, I mean, every season they make a change to some of the cars, so they are trying to get them balanced as best they can, but you'll always have, just based on the different cars, they're going to drive differently. Some cars actually go towards certain people's driving style. So I like it. It could be improved, and to add more cars would be cool. But this is iRacing's like premier road series, you know. So they are, you know, that's their big selling point is GT3. I can imagine, especially with the Pro series coming.
Yeah. I love GT3. If I didn't find it, I probably wouldn't even be playing iRacing anymore because I just rushed through everything as quick as possible. I found GT3 and I was like hooked, line and sinker. That was it. That was not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. Even as much as it annoys me with the qualifying every race and all that sort of stuff, I will still do it and it'll still be my main series eventually.
Yeah. So is JP, you're in the Pro series, right? Or is that qualifying? Does anybody know about that stuff?
Well, yeah, we did the first weekend, and after the first weekend, Tony Gardner from iRacing just decided to announce, because of the grip hacks exploit or the grip bug exploit, they just wiped the whole weekend. 9 hours of racing, we got into 20th place from the points, so we were in the top 40, and the points were just wiped down. So we have to do the race again. It's going to be Road Atlanta next weekend. The Monza will be between the Silverstone and Spa race. So there's going to be 3 races, 1 race per week. While it was before, it was 1 race in 2 weeks. So there was a little bit more preparation time for the races, but not anymore. But
so hang on. So that if he had wiped the points because somebody had been grip. Well, it was because of the grip hacks, and therefore they must have realised that somebody there was using said hacks. Right?
It's actually that bug was
Skybox bug.
Right? Yeah. It's an iRacing bug. It's to do with if you join a session, I think, and then someone joins a couple of minutes later, the weather changes for them, so it could be cooler. Yeah. So they're going to get more speed. It's an iRacing bug.
Right.
It was. Okay. I think it was some kind of a little bit more complex bug. It was it was related to the realistic weather and the dynamic track surface. And actually, they knew the bug was reported at least 1 week before, because people in the Skip Barber series have noticed that bug in there, but they didn't do anything about that.
Yeah. We've been talking about it in week 13 because the qualifying for the Mazda Cup was ridiculous for some people. And other people could barely, you know, keep up a normal pace. But then in the race, it would obviously show because the fast people would just blow right by the slow people.
Yeah.
So, so it has been apparent since the update from week 13.
That's actually what happened in the endurance races too. That okay, the qualification or the grid was totally mixed up because of the bug on the qualification, but in the races, the fast people just went past and.
Right.
Still, they wiped out all the results, so I don't know.
And then we had the great idea of we got this weather thing and how it's always different for every session, and we were thinking they should have like 1 week weather forecast.
Oh yeah,
where it'd be predicted, and then you could go look at the extended 7-day forecast for the entire week, and it would follow that. Be like, let's say, you know, it starts to warm up throughout the week, or it starts to cool down. Like, there's a cold front coming into the area, so like as you get closer to the weekend, like it starts cooling off, and this would be for every session as the week goes on. So if you check the weather forecast, it's going to be 70 degrees on Tuesday. You join a session on a Tuesday, it's 70 degrees.
I think they should do it on
awesome.
per track basis. So even if 2 different series are at the same track, they're having that same weather. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
and fairly
realistic.
realistic.
Do some sort of cohesion in it rather than just sort of some random.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
right?
it's
and it's usually if you make some setups for the week, it's just the weather can be from other end to the other end. So the difference on the handling of the car with that setup could be drastic.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think more predictive weather would make sense as far as simulation, because in real life, you check the weather before you go to the track on the weekend. You know what it's going to be. They're pretty close, and it could always be, the forecast in itself could be dynamic, where, if you're looking at a Friday forecast on a Monday, it'll, you can kind of tell what's going on, but once you get to like Thursday, then the Friday forecast will be more set in stone because they have a better idea just how it is in real life. That'd be awesome.
There's was question on the chat for me from Chart Allen asked me, how did you find the virtual endurance championship race yesterday? And it was interesting. I had to start the race. I have never started a race in R Factor 2, and I have to say that while I have spent my sim racing career more on the iRacing, I have to say the racing in R Factor 2 is a little bit confusing. It's just missing some things that iRacing is doing better. But it was exciting. I did a 3-hour driver stint in there, and I have to say that today when I woke up, my arms were sore because of the because of the wheel. But
nice. Sure, it's because of the wheel.
Did you hear that, man cave? You need to work harder, man.
Not arms.
Yep.
I said arms, not the right arm.
Well, I seen him in his vest up the other day, and it was just like,
oh yeah,
this guy needs help. I'm sorry, this guy needs help.
I know, it's like Adrian Mole is coming out to play, wasn't it? It was like the Finnish Mr. Bean is on camera.
Harry Potter in a tank top.
So Dustin's asking, did we take any more Twitter questions? We are taking Twitter questions at #GripTV Live and @GripTV Live on the Twitter.
Well, we have 3 questions.
Whoa, here we go.
One from Maverick, which was related to KR's race earlier on. When is he going pro? You've won a race now. You've got to apply for pro.
There you go.
Yeah, with my 1500 I rating.
Yeah.
Hey, don't knock
we have another one from Zach, the main man, Zach, which we answered actually last hangout, which is what we'll be running next season. But let's get this season out.
Right.
Too far away.
All right, Banhammer's coming out. Let's go back to the last question. So KR is in a little bit of a slump. I started a little slump yesterday. Can we talk about going through slumps? Because sometimes, I mean, except for Braden, he just wins every time no matter what. But sometimes you get into a section of races where you just don't do good. You can't finish a damn race. And you just, sometimes the luck is just not there as far as wreck avoidance and stuff. So does anybody have any tips on if you have 6, 7, 8 races in a row where you just can't finish one or you're in a bad slump? How the heck do you get out of it? Do you go back to basics? Change the series?
For me, take stop complaining about slumps and suck it up. You could just not be able to race at all. Bloody.
No. Well, yeah.
I'm racing right now.
But no, that's a good question. I mean, because if you think about it, like a professional athlete, he'll get into a slump. What does he do? Well, he goes back to the track. He runs laps, and he just goes back to basics. Well, what's the very basic thing in racing? In order to finish first you must finish. Yeah. So that's what you go back to.
iRacing tidbit.
You got to give up that win. You got to give up running that guy close. You just give up, and you focus on hitting your marks, getting your own lap time, running your own race, and you finish where you finish.
And that's why I always finish a race.
Yep. See, there you go, Man Cave. And that's kind of what I've gone back to, somewhat. The red mist settles in, and you get a little sidetracked. But I'm really just going to start focusing on running my race and finishing where I'm at. So
and not necessarily worrying about your car number. Because I know I've been having the issue of, you know, if you're car number 1 and 2 every time, then you're like, well, I got to get at least the top 5 here, and you don't qualify, and then you're pushing way too hard and making stupid moves just to see, you know, well, I belong in top 5, you know, that attitude. And it's like, well, maybe you don't, you know. So I think just kind of finding your place on track in the race and just finishing, I think, is what you got to concern yourself with. But
yeah, you know, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, I definitely think, like, I seem to be going through what felt like a slump for like all of last season. And that I realise now I know exactly what the problem is. Number one, pick a series you actually want to practice for. Because a lot of the time, if you're not doing well, you've probably not put in enough practice laps.
Yeah.
Which leads me on to my second point, is if you're having a slump where you're losing loads of races and you're crashing into people, or people seem to be targeting you, I know I could take this advice, I'm going to say it to myself as well. Usually the common denominator in a crash is you. If you seem to be getting in a lot of crashes, you're the one that was there.
I agree.
And sometimes you just need to turn around and say, get off the track, go back to practice, and put your butt there for 2-3 hours. If you don't want to sit down and put 2-3 hours into getting the track down right, you're probably in the wrong series, and you should probably find something that you want to actually race.
Well, yeah, like for me in the Cadillac, I have to spend a good 2-3 hours just practicing the track for the week before I even go out and do a halfway decent lap. And it's just learning, learning the line, hitting your marks, getting refreshed. Because I drive so many different cars, I don't just specifically drive the Cadillac. And so if you just did one series, yeah, you probably could get away with, you know, not practicing that much. But when you're jumping from car to car, it does kind of feel different. Each car does have its own little difference. So,
and don't be a series whore. I became such a
practice race length stints. If you can't do a practice session where you're not crashing every other lap, then what do you expect during the race? You know, you have to put in good practice to get good results.
Can I just say though, do you not think as well, obviously because you just, I mean, you lot stream and race a hell of a lot more than what I do. So do you not just think as well, you're over racing? Because you go on and you, like Marty jumps from Mazda to his GT3 and then back again, and you know, a little bit of this in, but do you not think that when you're on streaming a lot and you're racing, I mean, when you're on for a couple of hours, you're racing a hell of a lot. I mean, I only race once a week, and when I be bothered, I also race just Kia once. So I'm got all the week without practice, but then I can walk away from it, and I'm not bothered if I don't race.
Take a break, take a step back.
Take a break, I mean, I do that when I'm in a practice session, when I'm practicing, say, for Morpho. We've only got like 50 minutes, but I'll go out and I'll do half an hour full blast practice, and then I'll sit in the pits and I'll just wait for about 5 or 10 minutes, chill myself out, calm down a little bit, and then I'll go out and try and get some more practice for about 10 minutes, you know what I mean, and then I'll rest before the quali. So when I'm out for a race, then I'm at that, rather than just go out, boom, 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 race after race after race, like yourself, Matt, where you'll jump in a Mazda race, and then you no sooner will the scores be up, you're already starting for your next race.
or pull a Braden, and you're running Carb Cup, and then as soon as you cross the finish line, you alt F4, and then you're hurrying up to load up Mazda because they're gridding, you know. But sometimes it works.
That could also have something to do with it. You know, if you're in a bit of a slump, it is probably because you are racing a lot.
Yeah, that
I know you have to, because obviously stream-wise, but...
Yeah, one of the races that Braden had recently, I put the link in the chat. He's racing against Richard Eklund, the famous tutorialist. And I think it's a great video on, because, I mean, if you guys don't watch Braden, I mean, he's the fastest Mazda racer that I really know. And he's racing against the guy that makes YouTube videos on how to race the Mazda, and he wins. Tell us about this race, Braden. I friggin' love it. We're watching the side-by-side race in action here at Okayama.
Well, I don't know if it was right before this race or a previous day. I can't remember. I'd raced with Richard on this track, and on like the first or second lap, he came into me a little bit. It was actually a netcode. It was really weird because when I watched it on your stream, Matt, we didn't even touch. You didn't even notice where we touched. It was at the hairpin.
Right.
On my screen, you know, his car did something wild, my car did something wild. So it's completely different based on whose screen you're looking at. But so this is a previous race. He had broken my steering. The whole race was a mess. I think everybody crashed. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So this is like the next race. I don't know what to expect. I know he's a good racer. It's not like he did it on purpose or, you know, I was a little frustrated anyway. But I just managed to get the inside coming off to the straight, and then I was able to defend the rest of the race till the last lap. It was the craziest last lap I've ever had. We were rumbling like it was Kia's out there for about the final 5 or 6 corners, and my steering got broken again. It was my own fault this time, but I managed to still make it to the finish and win, so it's pretty exciting stuff.
You know he wanted that win.
But he was there for the SR. But
yeah.
No, he really was. This is his only incident was from this because we got a 0x, and then I had to go off track to avoid from hooking him right there.
Right.
And so this is the last lap where we were.
Yeah, that was a wild white flag.
So I turned into him right here a little bit. I didn't give him much room. And then this next corner is where my steering gets messed up because I go too wide. If you watch it from the chase cam, I actually tracked out too much right there. It looked like I held the apex, but I didn't.
Epic stuff. I love it. I know how much John loves Mazda Cup races, so we got to show him.
Yeah.
John just loves watching wrestling in general because he can't race. So.
It is. It's like 2 loads of torture. Not only is it Mazdas, but they're people racing as well. It's like, just...
Like I always say, the slower the car, the closer the racing.
If you get the right group of Mazda drivers, I think it's better than Kia because I hate the way Kia handles personally.
Yeah.
It's so weird front-wheel drive.
Yeah.
It's the same as the Kia, yeah. It's just... It's a slow car, but you don't need to be going fast to have great racing. It's all about perspective kind of thing.
There's another question in the chat. There's a question from KTC 2010. What do you guys think needs to be improved the most in iRacing over anything else?
Improved?
I think one of the big things for new guys is there needs to be consistency within the car names and the series names and the setup. You know, documents are all different names. It's so frustrating for a new guy.
The UI would help.
There needs to be more linearity, I guess, especially for the new guys, even for guys like us. I get lost all the time.
Well, the drop-down box, half of the series are named iRacing something something, and they're in alphabetical order, and it's like, what's going on here? I don't like it either, man.
We have a Twitter question. Yes, we have a Twitter question from John Cook. Why does Zach have Sean Cole as his Twitter picture?
Wow, can we get a picture of that?
I don't know, because the sim pit's awesome.
Yeah, it's on his profile. We stalked his profile the other day, and he had Sean Cole on there.
Dear God.
I just noticed it now because he asked a question on there, and it's like he's got Sean Cole as his Twitter picture, and that's kind of weird. Have you got some daddy issues you want to share with us, Zach? Or?
Yeah, I can't find it. But yeah, Sean Cole's cool, right? We all like him.
Yeah.
He's in the BSR. He was disconnecting pretty earlier, I think. I mean, like, he must have been crashing out, like, first turn, because he would just leave the race. Well, Sean Cole's gone.
He was there with us in the behind the meat pack, so that's not a big surprise. You don't survive in there.
Oh, no.
Only if you get lucky.
Yeah, we are taking questions at Twitter at GripTV Live. Also, I wanted to mention, Teamy, part of the community, has created the very first GripTV app. You can get it on your phone. It's available now at the Google Play Store. So go ahead and load that up on your phone. There's a picture of it. It's available on all the phones, I guess, all you crazy kids with your technology these days. But it is an official GripTV app, and it's a central hub for when you're on the go. You can get info, see past YouTube. There's also a chat feature, which I think could be pretty cool in the future.
I heard if you get on the chat feature around 3 Central Time, you might be able to have one-on-one conversation with Matt Malone.
Yes. Sometimes when I'm at work, I load it up and I'm like, is anybody here? And so it'd be a good way to chat chat with the nation at any time, even when you're on the go. So there you go. There is the app brought to you by Teamy. And man, that's awesome. Look at us. It's 2015. Look at GripTV go. It's awesome.
GripTV's grown up.
Yeah. So there you go.
Is it supposed to make your phone catch on fire? Why? What is this?
It's so fast. I know.
My phone is on fire.
Everything GripTV does is super fast. On track, on mobile. It's amazing.
Crashing.
Yes.
Happens to.
So there you go. Awesome stuff.
Did we actually answer Katie's question about what we want to do improvements? There was
the UI.
Ideas,
the UI. Day-night cycle, DX11.
There's a lot of things great about it, but just getting into the race can be confusing. When do I qualify? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I think either that or the baseline setups could do a lot of work.
Yeah,
because there seems to be a lot of inconsistency with even just individual cars. Is that they'll make the baseline setup for multiple different tracks, and at some tracks, the car, like take NASCAR, the car can handle completely differently using baseline. In terms of how you have to approach the car, just the basics of is it going to oversteer or understeer.
Right.
I think it would work better if we decided no, all baselines are now going to be rather tight. But it means that on the fixed series, it makes everything so much easier as opposed to what we've got at the moment, which is just who the fuck knows what's going to happen next week because the baseline's a pile of shit.
Yeah, and also the street stack, rookie street stacks we've been running with our alternate accounts on the rookie street stacks. And you're at Charlotte, and the thing is bottoming out on the corner. It's like, what kind of setup is this? It's like, what's going on?
I think you could
flying.
I think you could lay under a street stock and it would go over you like a train. How's it hitting the ground? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. So I don't know what they're thinking there, but yeah, baseline setups and improvement on those would be nice. I understand a lot of understeer that you get with the baseline setups because they're trying to teach you to go slow in, fast out, but at a certain point, it just makes it so frustrating.
Speaking of alternate accounts, be careful out there because if you get into trouble with your alternate account, your main account might be in trouble as well.
That's true. That's true.
Can we elaborate on this? What's happened?
Well, it probably only really applies to streamers or people that Nim knows have a second account because I had a 1 week suspension on my main account actually from a Carburetor Cup, and then he sniped all my alternate accounts as well because he knew they were me. So he actually was making sure I couldn't race all week.
Well, us as streamers, we got to hold to a higher level, a standard level here because we're trying to set a good example.
Can I just point out that all the times I've sworn and raged and called people all manner of really, really bad things, and all the bad racing I've ever done, I've never ever had a ban.
Never?
Never.
It amazes even me.
I've had warnings, never had a ban, ever.
Yeah, I haven't even had a warning, and I've gotten really good in the rookie series at bouncing off the wall into somebody who I'm trying to take out. It's really cool trick I do. You come up out of the corner, and you hit the wall, and then you spin out right in front of the guy who's, whatever, and then it's like, oh, sorry, I hit the wall. Oh,
sorry. That's what you say.
I actually had a warning from him when nobody protested me. I was blind drunk one night, and it wasn't I didn't do it intentionally. I spun out coming towards the somebody tapped me. That's it, coming into the chicane that the last hairpin on Sonoma. And it spun right around, so I just literally floored it and spun all the way back around and sort of went back across the track so came round back to where the start of the corner, and I almost hit somebody. And the next thing, I woke up the next day and I had an email off him because he was watching.
Woke up the next day.
He's like, I understand you like to play and you get drunk and all that sort of stuff. That's why I'm going to give you a bit of leeway, he said. But, make sure you don't do stupid stuff like that again.
Well.
In the stream, and he sent me a warning from watching the stream.
Yes.
Should have sent him a response. I just had so much fun the first time. I wanted to do it a second time.
Yeah.
I think that's why he watches the streams, so he can keep an eye on us.
I know.
For some reason, he's got your link shortcut on his desktop. Where MS is drinking. Right, now we go.
I think
he's either sent a couple of at least 2 or 3 warnings, or at least 2 or 3 bans from watching me alone, from other people doing dickish stuff or talking really bad in chat. And he's like, oh, what's the name of that guy again? And I'm like, I don't know, name I can't remember. He said, oh, I'll just catch it back on VOD. I'll be right back now.
Yeah, I can't say I agree with that kind of stuff, but yeah,
no,
it's a bit do whatever he wants. Yeah.
Well,
I suppose there's two sides of the coin, though, because from his perspective, if, like, for example, there's 225 people watching this stream right now. If we were to then jump into a race and plow into someone, if he doesn't do anything about it, then 225 people in chat might go emailing him saying, "Hey, they didn't get banned for this shit, but I got banned for this load of bollocks."
Yeah, no, I agree.
That but I'm kind of like taking it off a stream. If nobody in the race protested it, that's when I'd be like, if the drivers themselves are giving the leeway, there doesn't necessarily need to be.
That would be my point.
He actually gave me a bollocking as well, because one guy deliberately took me out really, really badly and completely destroyed my race. I can't remember when or what it was. And Nim was like, "You need to protest him," and I was like, "Well, no, I don't protest." Right. And he's like, "You're the reason," he said, "why these guys are still allowed to get away with all this crap." Basically, he said, "Got to start protesting," and I'm like,
"I'll never protest anybody."
I protested one person once, and that's it.
I disagree with that, not protesting someone. I think that if someone deserves it, they should be protested. Maybe not on stream, maybe you should wait until after you finish streaming, fair enough. Sure. But I don't think that... Because if everybody had that mentality, we'd have so many dickheads still on.
I just think there's different ways to handle it that are better.
Well,
if there truly is an issue with somebody, you can send them a message.
Yeah.
You can,
Well, if I'm going to protest anybody, virtually every key you drive out.
Well, talking about what Matt said, he doesn't necessarily agree with Nim hanging out in the streams and taking action. But there are so many people who won't protest, and it's his job to try and keep iRacing as clean as possible. Yeah. So it's almost an extension of his job to come and watch and just view as many people as he can, because so many protests won't be filed.
Yeah, and make sure everything's going good. No, I understand it. But I think with the language thing, because I've seen him take care of people that had bad language.
You know what's weird, though, is the other night I was watching True Racer, and he was in a race with Nim, and True Racer whipped off at least 2 swear words over the comms, and Nim didn't do anything, but he had earlier banned someone or taken away voice chat from someone else who had done it, and I was like, what? Are there favorites going on right now?
Yeah. He was off duty when he was racing.
Yeah, he was off duty.
No, it was in that race that he took someone's comms away, but then when True Racer was swearing, he didn't.
Yeah.
There's a bit of give and take. Yeah. But speaking, we're getting a bit of dodgy territory, but going back a little bit. This is when all of GripTV gets a ban next week. But going back a bit, the problem is, though, if you don't protest someone, if anyone races one series in particular, if you go into a race, you'll go through the list of names, and you'll be like, that guy's a dick, I'm not being anywhere near that guy. It happened to me earlier, I jumped into a Star Mazda race, I won't name any names, jumped into a Star Mazda race, and someone put in chat, as soon as I logged in and showed the list of who's racing, there was like, be careful of the number 7, he's a wanker. And I was like, oh, fair enough, I'll be careful. I shit you not. 3 laps in, he's fucking going for, he's weaving and all this shit, and he's we're at Spa, and he comes from about a second back, and he's like, oh, I'm coming in! It was just I literally have to assume that he was brain dead and could only function with his limbs, and that was it. All the other functions.
Was that? Are you talking about me, Tubbsy?
I never say a bad word about you, KR. But
that's KR's alternate account. You didn't know.
Oh yeah. Deliberately made just to annoy me. But the thing is, someone in chat had said this guy's a dick, and it's that that's almost what protests need to happen, because if you don't have any kind of serious repercussions, you're just going to get people who are driving like dicks. There wasn't anything necessarily wrong with some of the maneuvers. Like, he overtook me once, and it was a perfectly clean overtake. It was round the outside at chicane on Spa, and I have respect for him for that, because that is a hard move to take off. But everywhere else, he's a whole second back, and he's just going to forget the brake pedal for a little bit.
Yeah. And I think some people that are, really good, some of these drivers are really good, so they think they can make crazy moves and stuff, and they get a bad reputation for driving dirty when they are in fact actually good drivers. They're fast, but there's a fine line there between making dangerous moves, and sometimes they pull them off, so it's like, hey, look at me, and then other times they get in big wrecks and they get on people's blacklist. I can think of somebody with the initials of GLW. That's
well,
like
he
that,
streams now. He streams now.
I still want to catch one of them.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I don't think we should give him any play. But anyway, so what do you think, JP? Because you're so good. You know, you got a bad reputation out there now that we have direct drive wheel making moves.
Well, I think I have noticed that sometimes, if not almost a little bit too many times, I'm a little bit too aggressive driver. But I don't know. I haven't never been protested. I was once warned by Nim, but that was when I was protesting someone, and I put a replay from that on the forums. Nim just told me that you can't do that when you're protesting someone.
Yeah, you're not
so
supposed to.
I have done some stupid things in my racing career, and I can admit that. But no protesting.
Why can't you put a replay on the forums?
It's there's
public shaming.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then you could argue that streaming is public shaming because the wanker who tried to overtake me earlier.
That's a whole segment on that stream.
That's Braden's new segment.
What?
What's your new segment?
No. We just stalk people's profiles, so it's not public shaming. And people put their names in willingly. It's only people who want to do it.
No. I do like this new segment.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Well, except when people are trolling. I'm Gregor Hooter.
But I think also, isn't that the point in iRacing using your real name?
Yes,
if you're a dick, you are being a dick. And if someone wants to go on the forum and say, look at this guy being a dick, the easiest thing to do is not be the dick.
Right. I understand. You're building yourself a bad reputation, some of these people, and if a lot of people know, like, the guy gave you a heads up about somebody in a race, you know, like, that's their reputation. And it takes a lot longer to change your reputation, you know, if you already got a bad rap, you know, so...
Okay, so while we're on this subject, one thing I do want to say is, I don't know what the term is, but are we name racist? Because there's certain names that I see in a race, and Marcelo...
I think it's just being smart and saying, hey, I know this guy.
I've never had a good race against a Marcelo. I've always been taken out.
Or the three-name guys.
Or 4 names.
Like, no,
3 or 4 names, and you automatically...
Just beware,
yeah.
I know John hates the 4-namers. He always brings it up.
Oh, yeah.
He's watching a stream and he'll be like, oh, 4-namer ahead, watch out.
It's like when I was racing a lot in GT3, I was racing an awful lot in GT3 and I was in the top splits all the time because I had like, it's about 2,500 I rating or something like that. I had people that I knew I could not go anywhere near. You know, you just, especially when you're playing something often and you're sort of racing against the same guys quite a lot, you know that you can't stick a nose in, or they are going to punt you or stick a nose in on you, you know, so you basically, you just get to know who they are, so you just let them go. There's so many dicks still in the game right now, and super duper aggressive.
Somebody in chat asked about, how do you get one of these GripTV shirts? And we do have a store. You can check it out. Somebody linked it already. And also we have the GripTV phone cases for iPhone, Samsung, all that good stuff. So the swag and stickers. Yep, the swag is available. So if you guys want to, go check it out. But yeah. And also we're taking Twitter questions. We got anything coming in?
There's one in the chat. There's a question, what's the average size for a 3-monitor setup for iRacing? That's a question from H20 Byzerk, and he's saying that he's running one 52-inch Samsung TV.
For triples, it's either your 24-inch monitors or your 27-inch monitors is what I've noticed is pretty standard. They don't really make anything bigger than a 27-inch unless you want to sacrifice response time or refresh rate.
Yeah.
I got 322s that are pretty much arm's length away from where I'm sat, and, you know, around, and they seem perfect.
I would say the biggest issue I've seen with different people's setup is their screens are about a mile from their face. It's so much better to get them as close as you can.
That's right.
Like mine is not even arm's length. It's like half arm's length. It's sitting right on top of my G27, basically. I only have one screen, but my field of view is actually decent. It's still near JP field of view, but it can actually be more decent because I'm so close to it.
Well, when I was in the man cave, in the bad time, when I was in the man cave, I had me screens right at the back of me T500, but obviously now I'm in the dining room, I've got to move them back because it takes up too much space to bring them close, because the door's literally just behind his monitor, and it gets knocked every time the door gets open. So I'm a bit further away now. I mean, I'm sitting with me on my seat, and I'm about 2 inches away from my monitor there, but I can touch this one, and I can touch that one. So, but I like them a lot closer.
Yeah, I have the same thing when I set up the dirt drive wheel. I actually have to bring the rig a little bit more back under the screens, otherwise the wheel would have not fit in there. So, but for me, it's just an issue being lazy, but I just need to increase or just make the monitors a little bit higher, and then I can just put my rig back in underneath them. But yeah, just get your racing wheel as close as possible to your screen.
Yeah, we just showed a picture of a great video online of a guy that's got it pretty much perfect there, as close as you can, right up to the back of your wheel. It depends on what rig you have, depends on how the table is, but the closer the better for sure.
Yeah, the bigger the monitor, the further back you can be.
That's true.
But at the same time, you know, it's all about getting the right field of view. If you're running 3 monitors, you do have to have the right angle on the monitor, the right field of view. You do got to put some time into it. And, yeah.
I've noticed Tomoki, his videos, he's got triple monitors, but he's just got them completely flat.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I don't know.
Do whatever the hell you want. Yeah,
he does a lot of rally games, and he has got 3 flat screens that are perfectly flat, just against the wall. I know a guy who I used to watch him on YouTube all the time. He runs the T500, and his centre monitor is literally between the base and his wheel rim. He's got just enough room for his knuckles. Now I think that's a little too close, but he loves it. You know, and he literally his centre screen just sits on the rubber boss just above his wheel. So he's literally got just enough room for his knuckles. If he pointed his finger out, he would hit his.
Okay, there's been a new development with the Tomoki. It looks like 2 of his latest videos, actually, he did put an angle to it. So he's running 3D. It's 3D Tomoki now.
Yeah, Matt said, I'm sorry, Mika said in the chat that he has them flat because of the 3D. So I don't know what the requirements are to use the 3D. Maybe he's not using it anymore now that he's turned the screens at an angle, but I've never done it, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But, you know, I'd say do whatever feels comfortable. Like, obviously my monitors are a little bit further away than I'd like, but I really have no option right now. But I've done the iRacing calculator thing where you figure it all out, and it gives me like a JP FOV, and I just can't deal with it.
Yeah,
I gotta be backed up some.
Yeah, I had the same problem. Like when I did the iRacing calculation, it literally just showed just the top, the steering wheel, and I was like, I can't even see my gauges. Right. How am I supposed to drive this thing?
Right.
And so I had to,
back it up some.
Yeah, I backed it up, and I like to have. I don't use the virtual mirror. The only time I use the virtual mirror is the sprint car when I remember to turn it on. So I have to have my field of view where I can see the mirrors.
It's hardcore, KR. No virtual mirror. It's hardcore, man.
Yeah.
Full simulation.
Yeah.
I usually do like I do it now that when I use the 45 field of vision, 45 degrees of field of vision. What I do now in the cars, if I haven't done that yet, I just you can position yourself in the car now a little bit. So what I do, I decrease the seating height and then I push myself back. So I have the same field of vision, but then I can see a little bit more because I'm much further back.
See, I do the opposite, where I raise my cockpit view up a little bit and then down, so I can see more in front of my car. It's personal preference.
Yep.
Or you could just get.
It's like I'm sitting on a phone book or something.
You're doing it wrong. You don't. When you're racing, you don't look in front of your car. You look ahead.
Oh my God, you're right, dude. You're freaking right, though. You're right. I gotta see that. I'm like looking down at the apex. Like, where's that apex at? Like looking like 3 feet in front of my car.
You look at that gears link that I've just put in there. That's the guy who runs his wheel. Like he's centre monitor, and he's got it lined up pretty perfect.
The only problem is, if he moves his chair back or forward or anything like that, if he moves even the slightest, his wheel will actually be blocking the gauges on his screen, so he can't see fuck all. Or if he's in a different car where the gauges are in a different position.
What?
If you're in a real car, you're going to block your gauges all the time anyway.
That right screen doesn't seem right to me. I don't know what you guys think.
I think it's because he's got a GoPro just beside him.
Okay.
He maybe moves it over.
Yeah.
Or
But
for the recording.
I mean, the closer the screens are to you, the closer the FOV can be. So your actual wheel that your hands are on can almost replace the wheel in the virtual because that picture, man, he is close. I'd put my knuckles on that thing.
Do you use the dials then, Tubbsy? The only cars I ever use the dials in is like the temperature ones on NASCAR. Apart from that, I never look at it.
Where's my trusty tablet? I have a tablet I use Dash Meter Pro on that has... So I have iSpeed on I have two monitors. One for iRacing, the second one has all my streaming shit, but it also has iSpeed, which I use for fuel gauge, sector times, and all that bollocks. And then I've got the dials on the tablet, which will show me in NASCAR stuff like water pressure, oil pressure, temps. That's relatively important in NASCAR, particularly at restrictor plate tracks. And then it also can show you, like Dash Meter Pro is really great because it has a bunch of different options, but you can use it as like a rev gauge where you change the revs so it red lines when you want it to red line. Or it can like show you how far someone is in front or behind you in much bigger numbers than what is in the bottom left. So you can use that stuff if you want it. Although I agree that some of it's
Z1 Sim Dash is awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like that, man cave. You've got that on your stream, and it's really nice.
Plus, the best thing about it, what I like, even though it's slightly off a little bit, is when you go into the pits and you press your pit limiter button, it automatically changes to your pits and your fuel and stuff like that.
Oh.
Tells you how much you need to go left.
How much you need, but it is slightly off a little bit, so you've always got to add more than what it tells you to, because on many more floor races I've run out of fuel.
Yeah, sweet, really, really sweet, that dashboard mod. I was thinking about that.
But it also, you can set it to a screen, you can click on it and it sets to a screen that'll tell you when you're coming out the pits who's going to be coming up on you. It gives you a safe board of who you're going to get out in front of, so you know if you're going to come out the pit in a gaggle or if you're coming out in clear space. So you can have multiple screens for that, and I really like it. It's pretty cheap.
One of the things I'm just linking in chat is something that I mainly use for that, and I found really effective, is iSpeed. That's the lap analyzer, which I think is a massively underrated, underused, and to be honest, underknown tool. Like, not many people know about that tool. But the iSpeed fuel calculations are spot on. I trust that thing down to where if it says I've got 0.1 of a gallon more than I need, I will trust it and it will be right. But that is the iSpeed lap analyzer. But what it will basically go through is it shows you your lap compared to someone else's, and it basically takes anyone else who has iSpeed running during their laps. It will take that, it will then put your laps over each other, and you can see, right, he's accelerating a bit before me. It shows your lines, it shows your gear changes, your clutch inputs, throttle inputs, steering inputs, and it's free. It's an absolutely free process that runs in the background, uses less than 1% of your CPU. Anyone can run it. But that has probably helped me in if I can put any improvement of my driving down to any one particular program, it would be that. Because that thing is fucking amazing whether you're doing road or oval. It's absolutely brilliant.
Have they done any updates for the iSpeed? Because we now have the dynamic track surface and dynamic weather, so the lap times are not comparable anymore.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
They haven't adjusted to that. However, I don't think it's the type of thing that is going to affect it, yes, in terms of the weather. But I think if you're looking at the lower end guys who are the more likely to need it, you're still going to get some kind of sense of improvement using it. I definitely think you're right that the weather kind of skews the data in it. It makes it a bit harder to kind of guesstimate whether he just could brake later or he couldn't. I assume that they will update that in a future patch. But I think that in terms of if you're someone who's looking for lap time actively and you don't know where to get it, it's the best resource for just saying this is what the other guys are doing. Because usually you're just doing something fundamentally wrong around a track rather than only a few millimeters.
Definitely. Another thing is somebody mentioned in chat is the Q2 fuel calculator, which is great if you just want to concern yourself with fuel. That helps out with,
is another I use.
I'm using it too. I have never run out of fuel.
races where you got to make a pit stop, so it's pretty dang accurate. There's a Twitter question from Leandro. When will we have the GripTV 24-hour MX-5 race when the ring comes out?
Yep.
That's the answer.
Oh, I
need
to make an announcement.
Oh,
2
well,
laps. Announcement from Tubbsy. We
I
have
need to make
an announcement. What is it?
Due to the nation being absolutely wonderful, and using my email referral code, I'm super close to being in the 100% club on iRacing.
What?
Now, one of my I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate hitting the 100% club, because it's just through the generosity of the nation of just slipping my email in and saying that, you know, they wanted to use that. So as a thank you, the day one that the Nürburgring drops, yes, I'm going to do 1 lap, incident-free, at race pace, in every single car on iRacing round the Nordschleife in one stream.
Oh my goodness. Wait, how long? Oh boy.
Yeah,
Yikes.
so it's going to be about a 50 to 60 hour stream, I'm anticipating. But that's going to be the day the Nordschleife drops. I'm not going to do any official races. It's everything, from rookie to pro, from MX-5 to Formula 1 car.
Are you
every
sure
single
about
one
this?
will, yes. And it
Every
has to be an
single car.
incident.
Have you raced the Nordschleife
Incident-free
before?
rate. Oh my god.
I've done it in.
You are an absolute fucking nutcase. Can I just get that on record?
48 stream confirmed.
Yeah. So
You realize you're going to have to
60.
drive like the super late model
Yep.
and stuff like that.
I want to see him.
By the time you finish, all of your beard will be grey.
No, the sprint car, the street stock, absolutely
The
everything.
sprint car. KR, you may have to do a lap just to let them know how to do it.
I'm
hat
not
will
sure
turn
if I'm going to include the cars that iRacing doesn't use in official series, like the old.
Oh, you got to do
no.
the all-wheel drive.
If you're
car.
doing
You're
everything,
gonna
you're
do them
doing
all.
everything.
You
said
said
you wanted it
100%
all.
Alright then.
club.
Alright,
100% club.
You don't say you're going balls deep and then only put the tip in.
Alright, we'll go balls deep.
What else here is, when this is what it sounds like to me. I can turn your stream on at 12 o'clock, see you in the afternoon, and just go, oh, he's on that car, and then I can leave it, come back in 24, and you'll still be trying to do that lap. Because I'll not really miss anything but a bunch of crashes. Because I've been racing the Nordschleife since
really
Forza
slow.
2, and I've never gotten round without going off at least once.
I'm pretty competent in Assetto Corsa. I can string a lap together without getting an off track in a Lotus, whatever the Formula 1 cars.
Does the set course do off track, so it doesn't count?
I just mean as in, like, you know, I can do it without setting a wheel off the track.
Tubbsy's going to get hung up on the Lotus 49. He ain't going to get past the Lotus 49.
Yikes.
He's going to be streaming for
Start on the
6
Lotus
years
49.
trying to get this Lotus
Just
49.
don't go out of first gear. That'd be my advice.
That has to be a race pace.
Before the green hell becomes the new Spa off track Nashomps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your order
I can't
of
see
cars
that
should
working
be-
as an official racetrack, personally, just because of, one, it's very narrow.
Shit.
Two, it's not shit. It's a good track,
It is.
and it's very narrow. You very rarely ever get round it without going off track. You know what I mean? Plus, it's like 6-7 minutes long, depending on the car.
I think they should have a
So-
nice like time trial competition with it. I think
Yeah.
that would be a fun use of time trial for people. Would make it like an official, like under official races, not under time trials where people have to search for it. You know.
Yeah.
Where you would
I
have
don't see the
a running
Nordschleife going
stand.
into other series, though. They'll do it for the first season, so everyone buys it, and then once everyone's been like, "Lol, this is week 13 for an entire season," they'll be like, "Right, we're never using this again. We're just going to use the GP circuit." I reckon that would
Oh, I see what
GP
you're saying.
circus is
well,
the only good part of that whole thing.
Well, if you have a timed race, it's just a lot less laps.
be. But yeah, so that's going to be fun.
When the ring does come out, along with Tubbsy's crazy adventure he's going to do, I plan on hosting practice sessions that are, you know, multiple different you could have multiple different hosted races just for practice, you know, that go on for 24 hours or whatever, just so the nation has a place to go practice them, and we'll do some official racing as well. But I do plan on hosting a lot of practice sessions for when the ring comes out. Because if it's one track, you're going to need to practice. It's going to be a lot of turns you got to learn.
Yeah.
So.
It's
Alright,
a really fun track to run.
I want to change the subject here just for a little bit. Something interesting happened in my stream last night, and it got really weird really quick. I know, imagine my stream
wanna
got
race?
weird. No, I wasn't streaming for that, of course, but we did watch the replay. No, but so somehow we got talking about the GripTV mansion, and how I am the one stuck in the corner because of the weird things I would do. And we got talking about rubbing nipples, and apparently, Mr. Matt Malone, I have to only ever rub your nipples clockwise.
I like it clockwise.
Yes. We're not going to talk about the other guys we got into. It got weird in a hurry.
Just wait till we are bunking in the same bed in Texas, KR, coming up in April.
I know. That's why I told you I got to rub your nipples clockwise. So, you know,
we're going to have breakfast in bed together.
When we're spooning, and I start rubbing on you, don't freak out.
Okay, I'm like famous for not knowing where the line is or there being no line, but I am literally scared right now.
Should be, John.
I'm not scared. I just want to know when's my turn.
KR, Matt gave
your nipples don't come with freedom, man, Cave. Only Malone's and Tubbs and KR's do.
If it gets rough or awkward, just go sideways. It helps everything.
Oh yeah.
At an
we'll
angle.
do our 3 Twitter questions actually as well.
Twitter.
So, Twitter questions. Tony Atwell, I don't know who you are in chat. Says, what was the first racing simulation? I think we've already answered this one. What was the first racing simulation game you've ever played? Well, if we're going by racing simulation, obviously it's iRacing because I'm a Forza guy and Forza's not a sim, apparently.
Mine was like, was it Micro Prose GT1 or something, or F1 or something like that? That was considered a simulation back in the day.
Right. I mean, I guess you could just narrow it down to racing games. I mean, is it the first ever racing game on like NES? I don't know. I mean,
my first ever racing game was
simulator. Then I know there was a NASCAR. There's a PC game.
Papyrus
I played it at
NASCAR.
my uncle's house. Yeah. It was on a PC. Is
well, it's actually those guys I think are part of the people who made iRacing. The
Papyrus,
like the original NASCAR Papyrus.
Yeah,
race.
I forget what it was, but it probably was something like that.
And they also made the Indy 500 game, I think.
Yeah, the Indy 500 game was pretty epic, and the first NASCAR by Papyrus, that one was pretty good. And that was early 90s.
I think it was 94 or earlier.
94, yeah.
Yeah.
Early 90s there. But, I mean, come on, how can you forget about Excite Bike?
Check this out. What is this from John here? What did you link?
Oh, wait, no. I played Grand Prix 3. I played the 3rd iteration of this, not the 1st.
Oh, this is a simulator. Check this out.
So this is my first game was top down, just a block moving on 2 lines. That's quite good for
Look at those graphics. Yeah. He's got the crowd on too, and the grandstands on high quality.
But there was loads of them. There was like there was Senna's Grand Prix one, and there was Virtua Racing, which was another one. There was I even remember back as far as like when you had 8 guns and BBCs. You know, this is like just after like the original Amiga came out. There was like Pit Stop, and that was amazing as well because that was Formula 1. But you had to actually manually change the tires yourself and all that sort of shenanigans. There's been so many good racing stuff over the years.
Look at this noob. He's got the driving line on.
Yeah. What the heck's going on? Here's another one from Tubbsy.
We have a question here for Tubbsy, actually. Which version of the Nordschleife are you doing? Are you doing the north, the south, or the whole thing?
The whole thing. No half.
The full, including GP?
Including GP, the whole Nordschleife track.
Because apparently, I think iRacing's charging us for both. They're charging for the GP circuit and the Nordschleife itself, which is definitely supposed to work together.
That will be the only road
you
track.
See that, Brandon?
If we thought physics models were bad, look at it's just insane. It was brilliant.
Awesome. He lost all
his
legs.
That's a damage model in there.
The damage
you don't
model
have
in this
that
game
in
is
iRacing
insane.
either.
I was going to say, it's got iRacing beat.
It's insane. You like look at a driver and all of a sudden their rear axle's just colliding down the road. It was brilliant.
Can you imagine Lotus 49? You look over and the guy doesn't have a head anymore. It's just gone.
Where'd that dude's head go? It's left it in the guardrail.
What can you do?
Another Twitter question. Sorry, Jeremy Patterson again. Which tracks you like? Name 5 tracks and different series on iRacing.
All right,
5 tracks.
All right, Jeremy. You got the hardest questions ever.
Well, for me, it will be the Glen because it's an awesome track. Yep. Got to like the Glen. Road America, Road Atlanta, because I do like them ones. And then after that, Laguna Seca, because I've been on that track for a long time.
Laguna's my favorite. I like that.
And the fifth one,
Bathurst.
I'm not really sure for a fifth.
You know you like it.
I don't like Bathurst at all.
I like all those tracks you mentioned.
Dude, Bristol's a blast.
Kind of think, really.
Sonoma's a great track.
Daytona Road.
Daytona Road, there you go.
Daytona Road, that one.
There's so many good tracks in
Glen,
iRacing.
Silverstone, Sonoma, Bathurst, and I don't know, probably Suzuka for me.
Oh.
I could add Sebring to all of those.
Sebring, there you go.
Sebring is my favorite, all-time favorite.
I go through phases, you know, where let's say you got 3 different series running the same track in a couple of weeks, you know, and you're just really overdoing it on a track, and you're like, all right, you know, and then a month goes by, and you're like, you know what, I really want to go back there, you know. I think it goes in spurts like that, but yeah, all those tracks you guys mentioned are great.
If you don't have Bristol is like, if you're not an oval guy, you do need to get Bristol. Because you get on that track in any car and you just mat it and you're dizzy by the time you're done.
T. Killib says, nobody mentioned Coda.
I wonder why.
Okay, what is your 2 most hated tracks?
Coda. Fucking Coda. Can Coda take up 2 spots?
All right, we'll say Coda's everybody's first choice, but what's your second?
Spa.
I like Spa. Spa's a fun, fast track.
Oh man, it's a good question. Other than Coda, what's your worst track that you don't like?
Phillip Island's a bit of a dick of a track.
Really?
Phillip Island can be a dick of a track in the wrong car.
I like that.
It's a tough track. I've only ever raced it once, but I'm not terrible at that.
For me, my most hated track's Lime Rock.
VIR
I'd say it's up there for
Mid-Ohio for me.
It's just
Charlotte
overplayed.
Road. I'm changing my vote. Charlotte Road. It's the most overplayed track.
I think
it's overplayed, yeah.
Charlotte Road in the MX-5 is a very, very good combination.
It's a great combination.
Especially when you throw the sprint car, a couple other cars, you do it at night with no lights in the infield. It's a good time right there. I tell you what.
The thing is,
full
the track
fog
itself
at
isn't
night.
bad.
Yeah.
It can be fun, but the thing is, because it's a free track, I've run it so many goddamn times that now it's such and there's nothing exciting about the track anymore. It's just half a lap of going around an oval where nothing happens unless you've got massive amounts of draft, and then maybe a couple overtakes.
If you think Charlotte Road's not exciting, you haven't hit that fence in a while, let me tell you.
Kitty catcher fence gets everybody.
That
Yeah, that's another one as well. I'm not a fan of Skip Barber. I'm not too keen on that track either. And I think it's Mid-Ohio is another one because of that stupid little bump in the road.
Mid-Ohio and VIR, I detest both of them.
I don't own VIR. I refuse to buy it. I refuse to buy that track.
My problem with Lime Rock is it's really hard for me to be consistent at Lime Rock. It's such a the line to be fast on Lime Rock is so narrow that you can't really vary your line at all in it. Yeah. So you have to wait to pass somebody. You have to wait for them to make a mistake.
Right, and I think if we're having trouble coming up with 2 tracks that we don't like, that's awesome.
Oh yeah,
you know?
The tracks are great in iRacing. I think they do a really good job.
I actually couldn't think of one, but we've just passed one. It's not going to be popular, but I don't really like Donington that much. I think the corner cambers are weird. I think all the cambers going into the corners are weird. They seem like they're the opposite of what you want. It's just a weird track for me. I don't know.
It's a track that'll teach you slow in, fast out for sure. Yep. Most of those turns at Donington, you can be on throttle before you even hit the apex again if you do it right. Which is cool, but it's frustrating too sometimes.
It's only the last 2 hairpins that people tend to have a massive amount of trouble with. I pretty much got it right now, but I love Donington.
I think it was a great addition.
I suck at any chicane. I suck at it. So what's the other one? Is it Zonder or Zandvoort? It's got like about 4 or 5 of them in.
Zandvoort. It's a big Zandvoort.
Yeah, Zandvoort. Yeah.
I like the track. I just don't like. I hate because obviously I'm still a rookie racer compared to you guys. I cannot get chicanes right at all. I just.
Oh, you're thinking of
Zolder.
Zolder. That's Zolder. I like Zolder more than Zandvoort. Zandvoort is a lot of undulations, a lot of...
Yeah, I like that one. It's the one with the there's about 4 chicanes in there.
Right, yeah.
And I kind of get them right for loving the money. So,
yeah, Zolder is, boy, you can struggle there or...
Montreal's like that, too. There's a lot of really quick chicane, sausage curb problems you can have.
Now, so. I have a thing about Gillisville and the Wavy, which is I actually beat Tone the Moon in a race around there. What? Until he crashed. I was actually beating him, and he could not pass me in the rough on a Morpho race until he crashed out. So
Wait,
I was
Tony's
beating
here?
Tone the Moon.
No, but he got mentioned. I was hoping he was.
Okay. Tone the Moon's been hanging out around though,
Yeah, he's come to my stream a few times. Yeah.
And then he linked me to a Twitch channel. He's like, check this guy out. It's a guy that plays piano and he takes requests. It was epic. The guy's playing on 2 different pianos. He's got a mic. He just does whatever people say in chat. There's like 20 people watching. I'm like, man. This guy needs to get going here. But that was funny.
As we're on the track subject, Jesper Ronnie says, what tracks would you like to see added to iRacing? And that was asked by Speedy B27.
So just as a recap, we've got Le Mans, that's coming. Imola is still coming, maybe sometime before we all die of old age. The Nordschleife and the Nürburgring GP are coming out, which are going to be 2 separate tracks technically, which, I don't know how I feel about that. Are there any more? Rockingham UK got scanned. Long Beach is never fucking happening. That's a pipe dream. What else is there that's announced? I think that's just it for everything that needs to come out.
You guys see those camo pants? Were they camo pants?
I was going to say that. Is he wearing pajama bottoms? Is he wearing
they're pajama camo pants.
1970s weightlifting trousers.
So when he sleeps, he wants to make sure no one can find him.
But I think, in terms of the tracks, I would like to see iRacing do what they did with NASCAR, which is they follow one series for one season, and they scan all the tracks that they run out for that season, whether it's Formula 1, whether it's IndyCar, whether it's the BTCC or the Aussie V8s. Just pick one series, so then that series can have all the tracks it needs for a series. I don't really like doing things like racing the fucking Skip Barbers round Spa. It's fucking stupid. Like, we need to get actual cars going around actual tracks, not bumper cars going around frickin' shopping carts. No, parking. No, never mind.
Contrary to a lot of people say, but even though I am British, I'm Welsh, but I live in Britain. There's so many people that are always banging on about all the British tracks, that they haven't scanned yet, and I don't like many of them, in all honesty. I've tried them in Project Cars and stuff, and I just don't like them. I don't enjoy them. Like, a lot of them are too bloody thin for a start, so they don't sort of really promote a massive amount of racing and all that sort of crap.
But the problem is, you verdict a track or anything by the amount of overtaking manoeuvres capable. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good track or a bad track, because you don't like the Nordschleife because it's too thin, it's too skinny, you can't overtake. But you can still have cracking racing without.
But if I wanted to play Skeletric, I'd fucking buy one. There's no fun in this whole one train all the way around a track until the guy in front of you makes a mistake.
Well, no,
because you're just following somebody.
But that's an opinion on racing, like whether you prefer racing that has a lot of overtaking or whether you just want to see good close action, regardless of who's in position. I see where you're coming from, but I think tracks like Thruxton. And Snetterton and other tracks that are heavily used in BTCC, I think that they would have a place if iRacing had the cars for it, which it doesn't. Right now, the only thing that would be interesting around there would be the Kias, and there's no point in scanning in a tri track just for one series.
But if you look at them, though, you look at them on the telly and stuff like that, you see a lot of the British tracks. They look really, really, really old and tired, like as if...
They are.
When you look at them on the telly, to me, it reminds me of the sort of thing you see on Men and Motors at 3 o'clock in the morning with his, guys who are age 40 to 50, and they've all got little escorts, and they rip around there just for a bit of fun together on a weekend. And that's what they remind me of. They just don't even look like racetracks.
Part of the problem with that, though, is Silverstone. Silverstone just gobbles up anything that comes to the UK in terms of modern motorsport, so nowhere else gets the money for it. But like Donington got completely fucking redone trying to bid for the Formula 1 Grand Prix a few years ago. Silverstone just redid the media centre. They fucking got it. And
no, they didn't do it. They didn't do anything to Donington. No, because they had to come up with like 170 odd million or even more or something like that, and they signed all the agreements saying yes, we can get this money, and they couldn't even get anywhere near close to the money, so it just defaulted back to Silverstone.
Fair enough. But part of the reason is in Britain at the moment, like anything big that comes here that would promote a lot of money just goes to Silverstone. So it has become this dilapidated. Like Brands Hatch is the closest thing we have to an A-list track in the UK these days, apart from Silverstone, obviously.
Well, again, that's really crap.
I would like to see
you look at the shape on it. You know, it's not a very technical track by any means, is it? You know, it looks like something that was built when cars wouldn't actually turn corners.
I would iRacing. I would love to see iRacing update the Silverstone sometimes. So
supposed to be getting a new version.
And again, that's something I'm against as well. I really like the iRacing one. I love the iRacing one.
I dislike the current layout or the old layout because I just don't get into the rhyme in there, or I just don't feel the flow of the track. But in this new layout, the flow is way better in my opinion, at least.
I think iRacing's missing out on a big opportunity to get some money from the road guys, and that is to implement all these road courses on the oval road courses. There's a lot of them that we've never even been on before. If they were to just start adding them to the schedule, you would see road guys start buying these oval tracks just to race them. And I think we're missing out. I mean, there's so many tracks that nobody's even ever raced, and they're road tracks. And it's like, well, there you go. There's a bunch of new tracks for you, you know.
Well, it doesn't work in every series. For example, in the GT3, they had this, I can't remember which track was it. It was second week, I think. They went to oval road track in there.
Indianapolis, is it?
No, it wasn't Indianapolis. It was
Homestead.
Homestead, yeah. That's the one. And I think not that many people like that, because it's not very good for GT3, I think.
There you go. CoinOps just put a straw poll in. Everyone click his coin operators straw poll link and click old on new Silverstone.
Oh.
I've just put it in our Skype chat.
I know
see where it is at the end of the session.
I think Silverstone's an alright track. I don't see why people give it so much credit. It doesn't do anything for me. But like I said, I'd like to see in terms of tracks, one track I don't think is going to cut it for me. Because adding like just one track at a time, we just get that track's going to be massively overplayed the season it comes out, and then every season after that you're sick of it because you ran it all last season. It's kind of like how everyone feel, or at least I feel about Monza. Is we ran Monza in every single series last season, and now I'm kind of a bit like, it's Monza again.
It's like 50-50, you see that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean for the straw poll?
Right.
We're 45-55 at the moment.
I guarantee that's going to end on 50-50 because people are just going to vote to get it 50-50. I guarantee it.
Well, we're 25-18 at the moment. So 26-18. There's a lot more people voting for the new one.
But I would like to see them follow something like the FIA series round and just scan the tracks that they follow for a season.
I think
there's a bit more consistency.
I think they should, as they said now that they want to focus on the building up the GT3 series, I think they should also focus on the road tracks on that series. And after that, either go for the Formula 1 series, because we are getting the new Formula 1 from this season.
Yeah.
And maybe get those Formula 1 tracks, what we are missing from for example, from the Asia or something like that. And then after that, go for the two-door series or the World Endurance Championship series. Oh.
I think the Formula 1 series is a bit of a bigger bite to take, though, because iRacing, get the chance of iRacing being able to approach the FIA and say, hi, we know you've got this really important global racing event, but we want you to shut down the track for 1 to 2 days while we laser scan it.
It's not just that either. When Formula 1 goes somewhere, they have something going on all weekend. There's something racing on that thing all weekend.
Exactly. I just don't see that they can get the time to actually scan that track. Because I reckon the FIA just say, well, how much are you going to pay us? Because it's not going to be enough to cover the cost of doing another race.
Well, they did that for Kota. And they have Suzuka. And they have Formula 1 tracks in iRacing already. Why they don't have...
but that wasn't following Formula 1 around, was it? It was just a case of going to Kota.
Yeah, it was just a case. That was like a one-off. You just find when Kota's not used. Try to do that somewhere like Monaco, where it's a road race, and it's like, right, this track's going to be open for a week, 2 weeks tops.
Yeah.
Good luck trying to get any track down there.
Again, I won't miss having Monaco, in all honesty, as a shithole. I love the track, I always have,
John,
but it's horrible to race
do
around.
you like?
Monaco, I love it. I love it in Formula One, right? I can sit there and single lap Monaco over and over and over again happily, but I don't like racing on it. It's just nowhere to pass. It's piss.
It sucks.
Seems to me you have a challenge with technical tracks.
It's not. There's no technical about it. There's one racing line, and unless you sort of put a really ropey dive bomb up the inside of some dodgy corner, you can't really you can't overtake around there. I like to race. I don't like to play Euro Truck Sim around the track.
But saying that the track is busy, I think it's not an obstacle for iRacing. They did that with the Le Mans. They got the Le Mans. That track is raced by once in a year. They have the what is this? What is this street track we have? But it's on a technical track.
Long Beach.
Like Long Beach.
Yeah.
They have a scanned that too, but.
Yeah.
It's not impossible for iRacing. They just have to...
I don't think it's impossible. I just definitely think that it's way out of their budget right now in terms of if they had the money to go and do all this and spend all this money, I'd be like, where the fuck's the new physics model? Where's the new rain model? Where's the DX11? Why didn't you put the resources into doing something pertinent?
Check out the track that Zimmy99 posted. Here's a track for you. It's 2 long straightaways.
Oh, isn't that the place where they test the top speed of the cars in Germany?
Could be.
I think
like I saw. Flats.
I saw this. What is the?
That's an old Gran Turismo track, there, isn't it?
It's not Chef Life, apparently, according to the rates on it.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'm sure I've seen that track in. Was it GT3?
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 3, I'm sure that track was in there.
I would like to see the Top Gear test track.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I think... Well, is that even going to happen anymore? Is that even a...
No, somebody else has got the license. Haven't Microsoft got the license, or somebody's got the license for that now, haven't they? I think it's Forza.
It's in Forza. It's in the latest Forza.
It's a very confusing track. I tried that in the Gran Turismo 4, I think. It's a very confusing track because there's... It's just airport. And there's no...
Yeah, but it's just a figure 8. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just a figure 8.
Well,
and you gotta really, really brake early for all the corners.
Yeah. So as we're coming up to 2 hours, got about 10 minutes left or so. We'll take a couple more Twitter questions at GripTV Live. Don't forget to check out GripTVTeam.com. Also, we have a picture from Forza Motorsports of people are sporting the GripTV Nation paint jobs over on Forza. I know that we also have a Mazda MX-5 paint job that people are sporting.
And the BMW
Forza and
as
BMW.
well.
Nice.
So it's cool to see GripTV expanding out into different sims to try to spread the word. If you guys like what we're doing here at GripTV Live, make sure you tell your family, tell your friends, and if you guys
don't tell your sister.
Yeah, and your sister and your cousin and your second cousin.
Steve Seven Player says that was the old pre-war Avos track in Berlin, Germany.
Oh, there you go.
That was that track with the straights and the two corners.
So they must have raced camper wagons around there. That would have been amazing.
Can I just say, guys, when you're sending your Twitter questions, can you put the hashtag in? Because otherwise, if I don't follow you, I can't. It doesn't pick it up for me. So you need to use @GripTV Live and the hashtag as well, so as I can actually pick it up.
Get it right. Man Cave is going to come over and just lay the whooping on you. Get it right, folks. Chris.
So as we're waiting for more Twitter questions to come in, a couple more we can get to probably. What's your guys' streaming schedule for today? Anybody going?
I'll be on for the rest of the night now. I don't know what it'll be playing. Something that doesn't need pedals.
Okay. I know Tubbsy was racing earlier. You got anything planned for the afternoon, evening?
I'm probably going to stream now. I don't know what my plan is afterward. I have a friend that's moving to Australia, so she's going to the airport in a bit. I may disappear off to say goodbye, but I don't know. We'll find out.
He's making up these friends again.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to help poor Tubbsy. Earlier, he made this wild claim that he had a girlfriend.
Oh, my God.
I just want to know how he's got time in between streaming, because he's always on camera. The only time you don't see him is when he goes to the bathroom. Who knows what he's doing in the bathroom? I don't want to know, but we can all guess.
What he's not telling you is that his girlfriend is not only his girlfriend. That's why he's got time to play computer in between.
Ah, jeez.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, there is Advanced Mazda Cup race today, and I'm not even sure what the track is.
Phillip Island.
Is in 2 hours. Oh, Phillip Island? That's not 2 hours from now. I'm going to get us something to eat, then be on later. Is Outlaw going to be streaming his win streak later on today?
You win one race, and suddenly you're on a streak.
Hey, I think you've turned over the Leaf. This is leaf turning time for KR.
It was that race. You know, it was a picture perfect textbook win in the IndyCar. I took the air off anybody who was getting a run on me. Never gave up the inside. Ran them high when they tried to pass outside, and ended up just holding her to the floor and winning. It was a good race.
Is Braden going to be doing any late night streaming tonight?
Yeah, probably the usual time around 8 o'clock.
Check it out, guys. You can go to the team page, griptvteam.com, to follow all the guys. Ali, I think, is still streaming now, and check out Jimmy's YouTube. Jimmy did some live streaming of the VEC race the other day, so that was cool. But otherwise,
Ali's still
if we
streaming.
get a couple last Twitter questions in, we can wrap this thing up.
As I wasn't asked, I'm not streaming till Thursday.
Streaming Thursday for Man
Thursday,
Cave for his...
Mofo's back this week, so I'll be back on Thursday.
Mofo is back. Plus,
you have two
you're going to be
questions.
doing the Bushfink racing too, for the MX-5.
Yes, the Bushfink, yeah, I forgot about that. That's on Tuesday, I think. We have one from Adam Thorne, which is, how did you find out about iRacing and under the brake? Which aspect of racing would you want more in iRacing? Rally, dirt oval, karting, drag racing.
Drag racing. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, drag racing's quite fun.
I wouldn't want any of them, in all honesty. Just leave it as it is.
Me neither.
Well, we know Chiara want dirt oval.
The trouble is, even though I would like dirt oval, right? The worry I have is that once they start bringing in a different surface, a completely different surface that needs all manner of different physics and all that sort of stuff, then it's going to take a lot of what's made the original iRacing great away from it to try and concentrate on that.
I agree.
Also,
there's a whole new subsection of people working specifically on that, and the other people are still doing the same old. That could work.
We don't want to take away resources from what's really important.
Yeah, I don't. We all kind of diss on iRacing and look at the crash, but it really is, if you think about it, probably the best. I don't know what to say. Provided service. You got a great community. You got all kinds of good stuff. And if you are into racing, this is where you want to be. So, despite all the bad talking we do about some of the stuff they do, it still is really good. And, if the dirt's coming, they're probably going to not sacrifice their core. They're, like Fidget said, they probably if it's coming, they're probably going to do, it on the side, and it'll get around to it eventually.
That is a good point. That if they were to do it, they would do it right. Kind of like, I know there's been bugs and stuff with the dynamic tracks and everything, but it seems like when they do come out with something new, they do try to hold true to the sim and make it as realistic as possible, so they're not just throwing stuff at us like, we have dynamic tracks, and it's just like random stuff. It actually is the rubber being laid down because of the cars driving on it. So,
and we are
you gotta give them props on that.
We also have some video footage of Crash and Gravel flying around already when they
yes,
they showed the Petit Le Mans video on YouTube. And Matt, do you remember what was your first impression when you saw those flamethrowers from the McLaren?
The backfire.
Flamethrowers.
Did you notice that they have updated them, those two?
Yes, and we'll take a look and see if we can't see that on video right now. But I was super impressed by the new updates with the backfire. But I don't know if I have the right video here. But yeah, I think, there's a rumor that they have an alpha of DX11 that the developers are working on. So I think a lot of the new videos that you'll see on YouTube and stuff is their DX11 working hardcore. So it's some things to come. I think it's false advertisement to show that kind of stuff. We're seeing now some of the dirt
we want
flying.
it now.
Yeah, we want it now.
It is a bit naughty, really, when you consider that this stuff probably isn't going to be in for the time the Petit Le Mans comes on.
No, I mean that's
there's possibility they're having this bug fixed tomorrow, so being optimistic, they might add some of those things in there, but
they're not going to roll out a new build
mid-season.
No,
they can't. No.
It's like they spend a whole week fucking it up trying to sort it out anyway.
Yeah. At the bottom, there's the black bars on the top and the bottom. At one point, there's like it's all screwy at the bottom.
Oh, I thought
I was like, geez, I can't believe they released that. No, I thought it was too when I first watched it, but yeah. I thought that was a bit unprofessional.
Makes it look like one of my edited videos. Can I just say that New Silverstone has won the vote, 58 to 42.
There it is.
So, most people prefer the new version of Silverstone.
There you go.
Also, I wanted to announce that the next week I will be having my birthday on 12th of this month, and next weekend I will be doing 2 extensive streams on Saturday and on Sunday. I will be home alone on that weekend, and my plan is when I get up, I just eat my breakfast, just wander around for half an hour, and then start streaming and stream until I drop out.
Kleenex emotion.
There'll be a lot of oh boys.
I'm off out with the girls for the weekend. Bye.
There's going to be a record of oh boys for that, that weekend. That's for sure. Oh boy.
I just imagine JP fending off some burglars now.
It's kind of like my normal birthday, actually. It's like, oh yeah, so it's my birthday this weekend. Love, is it really? Oh, well, I'm going up to Mid Wales. Ta-ra. Leave you on your own for your birthday. It's like best present ever.
Your best present ever. That's it. When my wife asked me what I want for my birthday, I said, just go to work, just leave us in the house all day by myself, I'll be happy. Best present ever. And obviously I want cash as well, but you know.
Whoa, the epic music has begun. It's been a wild ride for the GripTV Hangout episode 4. If you guys missed any of the past Hangouts, just go to YouTube/GripTV Live. You can see all of us there talking about things.
Hold on, we'll get this little guy to say bye.
There you go. So guys, more epic racing coming your way. The live streams will begin shortly. So check it out. Don't forget to go to the team page. Don't forget to follow all the Twitter and the YouTube. Spread it around real thick like all over those internets. Wave goodbye, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys haven't followed the channel, give us a follow. We're going to try to do these every 2 weeks for the GripTV Live Hangout. So thanks to JP, Tubbsy, Outlaw, Air Messy, Fidget, and Man Cave. We'll see you guys for the next episode. And we'll see you guys live racing on the team page.
Well,
so
I
stream
from the pits.
Yes, that's right. We'll see KR on the pits. We'll see Braden on victory pole. What does that mean? I'm not sure. See you guys in 2 weeks. And in between on the track. Goodbye and have a good one.
Hey,
bye.
Ta-ra, good night.
Yay.